An inmate called Twin had been quiet and humble his entire sentence, but in the course of 1 month, he would change and become dangerous, feared, and the epitome of the term dog eat dog. But ironically, in the end, it would be something this dog ate that would send him to his grave. 46-year-old Michael Harold Brown of Manning, South Carolina, had been convicted of attempted armed robbery in June 2016 and was sentenced to 10 years in the South Carolina Department of Corrections. Despite this charge, as an inmate, Michael, aka Twin, was so quiet and to himself, you hardly ever noticed he was there. I would know, because I was in the same cell block as Twin during the months this story takes place. In fact, the only thing that did stand out about Twin was when he would do his daily pull-ups. He was extremely in shape and had one of those builds that you just knew whatever he did to you would hurt. Bad. It almost made you appreciate the fact that he was so unproblematic and humble. And I believe this garnished a decent level of respect for him from the other inmates. But one day, all of this suddenly changed. See, Twin didn't have much money. All he ever had was a few commissary items he earned from giving haircuts to inmates. Problem was, he wasn't very good at cutting hair. On this day, Twin gave a bad haircut to one of the most feared blood gang members in the cell block. The blood got angry and tried to intimidate and berate Twin, but to his and everyone's surprise, Twin wasn't fazed. Instead, he pulled out a large and menacing homemade ice pick. He welcomed any violence the blood wanted to bring. His eyes and body language showed he meant business, and the blood backed down. Twin had just made a huge statement, and to clear the air of any tension between them, the blood later gave Twin a bag of methamphetamine intended to help Twin earn some money by selling it. Unfortunately, instead of selling it, Twin began using it. On top of this new drug he was using, he capitalized on the statement he had made and began offering himself to the big shots in the dorm as security, a bodyguard, and a hitman. But his character was quickly changing due to the drug use. Every day you would hear a new story of Twin slapping someone, robbing someone at knife point, and more. He would go around to the young white boys and intimidate them into letting him cut their hair, only to charge them an outrageous amount of money for it afterwards and demand it be paid. The paranoia and lack of sleep from the meth he was using even made him turn on the big shots he was working for and believe that they were secretly plotting against him. He was wild, unpredictable, and unhinged. In the course of 1 week, the entire cell block wanted nothing to do with him and watched his every move in fear of what he may do next. Twin began hearing voices and imagined conversations that never happened, and would begin yelling to the whole cell block, waving his ice pick, challenging whoever was secretly planning to harm him. One day, the largest gang in the dorm got tired of this and decided to all go against him. 9 members with knives and poles surrounded Twin, but Twin showed no fear. He dared anyone to be the first to step forward, and ultimately, no one did. At this point, he seemed virtually unstoppable. Even the correctional officers hated Twin. One night, Twin believed someone had placed a weapon under his bed in an attempt to set him up to get caught and go to solitary confinement. He once again began yelling to the entire dorm, but this time, it was during count time, when the officers go around and conduct a head count of every inmate. The officers couldn't calm Twin down, and after he made several threats to them, white foam at the corners of his mouth, they called backup and escorted Twin to solitary confinement after all. The following night, at count time once again, the officer informed us that Michael Twin Brown was dead. The next morning, word had already been sent down from other inmates in the solitary confinement section of the prison that Twin had forgotten one of the oldest sayings in prison: when you've got enemies, never eat a tray with your name on it. All reports from inmates there at the time said that Twin had received a tray with his first and last name on it at dinner time. something that is usually only done for inmates who are on special diets. Chwin was not. Just hours after the final food trays were passed out at Tiger River Correctional Institution, Chwin died, believed to have been poisoned to death by an inmate kitchen worker who prepared the tray for either his own reasons or because he was paid to by someone else. Official reports by SCDC and local law enforcement last stated the cause of death was not physical trauma related, but was still undetermined. However, to this day, no further information or update as to how or why Michael Brown died has been released. So, what do you think happened to Chwin? Do you think it's as the inmates say and he was poisoned to death by another inmate? Do you think it was someone else? Maybe foul play by the corrections officers who he made enemies with? Maybe something else in another way, maybe drugs? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I hope you enjoyed this story and this video, and please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because I will be back soon with another.